Everything's changing in the garden, and it's not just the leaves. The turmeric's suddenly blooming, the figs are quitting, and the mint looks dead. But trust me, it's just pretending. Our compost pile is shrinking, our grapes have built a secret clubhouse, and the rosemary's doing its best while the loofah waves a little white flag. This is what fall actually looks like in Zone 9B. And if you're wondering what to plant, what's worth saving, or where a turmeric plant thrives under lantana, you're in the right place. This isn't perfection, it's process. And your garden doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be yours. Let's take the tour. Here we are in the evening in the Bowtie Gardens, and it is beautiful out here. We've finally started to reach what we might call fall. Our high temperatures are still in the 80s, and that's normal for us out here. Our low temperatures this morning finally got down into the 60s, which felt absolutely marvelous. We have enjoyed the nice dry weather, which is a very big change for us. Here in Destin, Florida, we're surrounded by water, so we have humidity most of the time. Now our water temperature is 81 degrees right now, which has a tendency to bring whatever temperatures, highs and lows, down to the same temperature as the water temperature, or at least closer to it. What that means is the 56 degree weather that they're having over on the other side of the bay, as it blows the miles across the bay, it cools down here and we only get 65 degrees Fahrenheit out of it. And I'm putting down the Celsius down here, so those of you who are more familiar with metric, you can follow along too. So the weather is beautiful. We're enjoying it. It's nice being outside. We're here in the evening, so the sun is setting back over to the west. And we're going to start over here in the southeast corner of the property, looking at our comfrey bed that has no comfrey in it. This is the comfrey bed that we have not planted yet, and we will be planting hopefully here in the next few months. I'm learning a little bit more about how to start new comfrey plants. Colin over at Holistic Homestead has really made some progress in my brain as far as how to do this. The next section here is going to be our okra bed, and we have been cutting okra. I say we. Mrs. Bowtie has been cutting a lot of okra, and between you and me, she is tired of it. And so we are going to be letting these okra go to seed for next year. Now, this is a little bit about cultivating patience, friend. We look in here, we see those big old okra up there. That thing is going to develop a whole bunch of seeds. In fact, one or two of these could be enough seeds for the whole garden next year. But this is where we cultivate our patience, because if we start letting some of the fruit that grew earlier in the season develop into seed, then that sends the signal to the plant to stop producing more fruit. We wanted to get as much as we could out of these plants, and some of them are failing. A lot of grass in the middle here that I just haven't taken care of. But we want these things to start giving us fruit as long as we can. Then when we're done with fruit, we do this, we let them develop, and they'll dry out and become seed for next year. And this is the beauty of this. We're going to have so many seeds that not only will we have seeds for next year, we could have seeds for the year after that if we had to, like some catastrophic failure or whatnot. A lot of times my extra seeds end up going to people like Chad over at Down Home Backyard Gardening, who just told me the other day that he still has seeds that I sent him from 2 years ago. I planted these seeds as old as 4 years old, I think, last year, and they still are good. And I was just watching Farmer Marshall on Enoch's show here just today, and he was talking about snacking on, okra in the garden. Absolute favorite snack in the garden. I come out here many times, sometimes multiple times a day, and get me some okra. Fresh okra off the plant is the absolute best. I think I would have to guess that probably a third of the okra that I've picked actually never even made it inside. That, of course, is the benefit of having such a large bed of okra, and it served us well. I'm definitely replanting it next year. You can see these zinnias. I want you to notice these zinnias are coming up right out of the grass. They're holding their own. I love that. As a lazy gardener, that's the kind of thing I look for. And we're going to see more of that here in a little bit. I do want to direct your attention down to something that I just noticed. I literally just now noticed. And I'm looking down here in the grass. Now, some of y'all who have been following along know that I planted turmeric everywhere. And I wanted to see where it would grow and where it would struggle. Well, this little leaf right here is turmeric. And I just now discovered it. This was probably planted in March or April. It's in the shade of this pomegranate tree, which we're going to look at in just a moment. But look at this thing. It is just pushing up through the weeds. It doesn't care. It's going to do its thing. That is beautiful. One of the reasons I like planting stuff like this all over the place is just to see where it will grow. I had a whole lot more turmeric than I could use this year, and I just started planting it everywhere. It's going to make for a big harvest next year. I'm also noticing over here down in the grass just now, there's even more turmeric growing. Look at there. Look at there. This turmeric just doesn't care. And see, for a lazy gardener, this is the kind of plant that I want to see. I want to see what this will do, number one. But number two, I want to see that it'll push its way up and survive amongst all these bullies. And that's just exciting to me because it's just one more thing that I don't have to deal with. And with my ADD brain, I look for stuff like that all the time. See, I see there's a yellow flag here. Oh, I don't want to break those leaves. The yellow flag there, here, and there's another yellow flag here, which means there might be more turmeric trying to come up underneath here. I wonder. I don't see any. It may have already been bullied away. And yes, this is the pomegranate I left last month, and you can see it's kind of soft. It's going to bust open, and the birds are going to get a feast out of that here pretty soon. I do like leaving things for the birds. You know, the more you can attract the birds into your garden, the more insects they're going to eat, which is what you want them for, because they eat those pests that we are trying to get rid of. This pomegranate tree, you can see it's losing a lot of its leaves. This is normal, folks. This is the process. It's not dying. It's kind of funny when you talk to someone from the Caribbean or other tropical areas where their trees are not deciduous, where they're evergreen, and they see our trees, and they sometimes we get a comment that, oh, you've killed all your trees. Well, no, fall's coming. Temperatures are getting colder, and we are experiencing that here. This pomegranate will end up dropping all its leaves and looking like a tree in the north where the leaves fall off. It happens to most of the trees up there, not down here. We do lose, you'll see, we're going to look at that fig tree over there here in just a little bit. You'll see it loses its leaves. Down here we have these three little flags. Now this is a Gloriosa Superba lily, I believe it is. I'll put it on the screen here. And this is a tuber that a friend gave to me, and I have planted it in here, and she warned me. She said it's going to take a very long time for it to grow. They come up late, a lot later than you might think. And so this thing, there's a tuber down underneath there, is developing roots. It's getting life. This soil gets watered, and it is going to come popping out here. Hopefully, maybe May, it'll start popping out, and it's a unique leaf. The leaf actually looks like it has tendrils on it, and it can grab onto things, which means we're going to have to put some kind of growing trellis over here. Oh my goodness, look what I just pulled out. That is a Florida betony. That's what that is. That's a Florida betony right there. Very cool. The tuber down there actually looks a lot like this, but it's a lot deeper than this one was. I'm going to save that for snack later. And we have another turmeric. Now notice, and see, this is the experimental stage. This was planted in March because it has the red flag. Nope. This was planted in January. It has the red flag. And look, this thing is suffering. Now, this turmeric is an understory plant. We'll see other examples, better examples of where they thrive. Now, this thing here gets a lot of sun throughout the day, and it just can't handle it. It's got all these broad leaves in here. They're designed to grab dappled light, and the direct sunlight that this thing gets just can't handle it. Now, over here we have an American Beautyberry, and this thing could grow up bigger. So if this thing were bigger, it might give this thing more shade. And I need to know that for next year when I plant turmeric here, if we have any to plant here. If you're enjoying this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click like on this video. But we come out with 3 of these garden tours every month. We have our whole property divided up into 3 different sections about the same size, and they serve as my personal journal. I already mentioned that in this video, I'm sure. You're welcome to come along and join us as we grow the things that we grow, and maybe you'll find some inspiration, or maybe, and please, if you have advice, I want to hear it. So be sure to subscribe, like the video, comment on these videos. Of course, as always, I want to hear from you. But yes, the American Beautyberry. These things are edible berries. I don't know how they taste. Let's go ahead and taste this and see if we can get a dramatic response from me. So it really stinks when you've done something like taste a berry like this and you discover your camera wasn't recording. and you have to do it again. So I do know what this tastes like. It's actually not terrible. It does have a little flavor to it, but it's very mild, almost a sweet. That one actually was a little sweeter. There's some seeds in it. They're going to be for new plants. Beautyberry is one of those plants I'm hoping to get pups out of because I want to start cultivating a few of these around the gardens. If I could get 2 or 3 of these growing on the property, I would be ecstatic. One of the things that I noticed here is as you look underneath, some weeds just have a hard time growing underneath this thing, and some do. Again, we're looking at the lazy gardener and what will grow no matter what I do. So this is actually looking wonderful. Very happy about that. Almost looks like a tree down there. Speaking of trees, let's go over and look at, yes, the rosemary. And this thing is amazing. We've been trimming off of this thing. In fact, you can see here is a video where I actually trimmed a whole bunch of rosemary and hung it in this little hallway to try to control our pantry moth invasion, and it seems to have helped. The pantry moths stopped coming out of that back bedroom back there and into the living room and also into the front bedroom a lot, and eventually it seems like they've gone away. But look how thick this trunk is. This thing is strong, it's beautiful, it's in the ground, it's well rooted, and notice that it doesn't grow very many weeds right here at the base of it. This is what's called allelopathic. Rosemary has allelopathic properties that doesn't allow so many weeds to grow under here. In fact, I heard an interesting thing from someone that if you grow rosemary in a place where you might have risk of fires, rosemary will keep dried weeds down in the hot heat of the summer so that fires won't spread. And rosemary itself, I guess it doesn't burn as well because it lives through a lot of bad times. But anyway, so this rosemary is just looking beautiful. Very pleased with it. We're going to be dealing with this more. We've already dealt a lot with this very plant. We planted out 54 cuttings from this and got a whole bunch more rosemary sitting all over the garden. I'm very excited about that. And of course we come over here to the Canna Lily, and this thing is gorgeous. Just look at this bloom. You can tell what it looked like. It was yellow with these red spots down inside it. It was amazing. A friend of mine brought 8 of these plants. In fact, this is the original one right here. Brought 8 of these plants, and this one grew in a very short time. I was very excited when I started seeing them grow. But look, here's the original, right? That's the second one that grew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new pups already coming up from that flower. I am so excited to see how this thing continues to grow and starts to spread. I would love to have just patches of these yellow flowers in several places around the property. That very first place we started at in this tour, that's going to be one of the bigger patches because I want that whole pile to have flowers and comfrey all over it. The lavender back here, and yes, this lavender, I'm the guy. If you look at the lavender food box in the morning, you will see a mugshot of me on the back of it saying, don't let this guy take care of your lavender because he kills it. So, folks, I need your help. You got to tell me what I'm supposed to do here. Do I let this thing continue to grow and let the leaves die? When do I start cutting this off at the bottom? I need your help. You got to tell me in the comments if you have experience with lavender. If you're on Facebook, send me a message. I would love to hear as much information about this as possible. When I rub the leaves, oh, it still smells just wonderful. To the left of the lavender, you can see that grow bag right there, and this is mint. And we're going to talk a bit about mint in this garden tour a few times. And I want to talk to you about people saying they're killing their mint. Now this right here, it looks absolutely miserable. There's a lot of dead things in here. This used to be mint right there. You see how brittle that is? And this right here, this is what mint does when it comes down to the end of the season. And what we're going to do here, you can see there's still a few leaves coming up in here, but we're going to come in here and just slowly work out the dead sticks in here so that the new leaves have space to grow. This is one of those places where we're trying to cultivate patience and let this thing do its life cycle. We can't judge what it's going to do by our experiences if we don't know what mint does. And you just have to watch it and pay attention. Pull out these dead things when you need to. They will come back. The more I discover that I've take these dead pieces out like this and just take care of it, the better it does in the spring, because this thing will explode coming here pretty soon. That's just a few months away. Oh my goodness, can you believe it? We are halfway through fall. We're in October. We're not halfway through. We're just a month into fall. So a little under a third of the way. But look at there, all that stuff can come out, and I'm just tinkering at this. We just kind of pull out a few things, give the new leaves space to grow. All these little tiny things right here, that mint, that thing's going to grow out and become a big strong branch. It just needs to know it has space to grow. Isn't that what any of us ever want when we're growing up? Just a little space to grow. And this stuff is so robust. I just pulled that out by the roots. Just stick it back in. It'll be fine. And yes, that's a sprinkler head. This is one of the victims of the aggressive planting video that I did. Kind of get your aggressions out of the frustrations. I know Chad was a little bit upset with his mint when he had problems, and here you can see, if I can find that video, you can see here what it looked like. It was kind of funny. We had fun with it. We like to have fun in our garden. And of course, this Thai hot plant next door is still here. I have not harvested anything off that. The Thai hot peppers are sticking up. You can see here at the bottom of the screen the Scoville of this. Speaking of Scoville, if you didn't catch our live stream a week or two ago, when me and Jason Pope over at Allotment of the Dead ate a Dorset Naga pepper. And these things, what are these things? 80, 100,000, maybe a little more in Scoville. Those Dorset Naga are 1.3 million Scoville. And he and I each ate one. And after that, we ate another. And so go check out that live stream for some good laughs. We had a blast doing it. The fire was definitely there. Of course, our Dinnerplate Hibiscus is looking just fine. It's a little bit rough for wear. It's the end of the season. But one of the things that encourages me, you see the leaves? Look down here. We have new growth coming out down at the bottom. And so this is a good sign for the new season. Hopefully this thing will have developed good roots. I did put this mulch down here. I think it was on there in the last garden tour. You can see that watering head. I don't have a sprinkler head over here yet, and so every once in a while I'll turn that on. Has about an inch. In fact, if I go down here, you can see it has about an inch or two of mulch that holds the water in this space so that this thing does get water. But look at all that new growth down there. That's just exciting. These things are supposed to flower late. I don't think we're going to get flowers this year since we just put this in the ground within the past couple weeks. Speaking of irrigation heads, this brown turkey fig tree right here, which is just looking wonderful. It is in the ground good. There's actually a head right there. You see that? We're going to end up tapping off of this and sending a line underground all the way over to that hibiscus right there on the left side of your screen so that it'll get some water too. These two plants can easily share a single sprinkler head, but we're going to continue to pull these weeds out of here and just give this fig tree a chance to compete for its victory and become the strong tree we want it to. You'll notice though that as we look up the stem here, we're starting to get that fig rust on here, which is normal, folks. We're talking about normal processes and letting nature do what it does because it knows what it's doing. There's sometimes we need to cultivate, but yes, this is fig rust. This is the normal fall signal. Some trees, their signal comes from temperatures. The figs seem to get their signal here, at least, from the rust. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen. Now, I do want to mention over on Facebook, if you're there, we have, of course, the Bowtie Life page. And down in the description below, you'll see a link to our Bowtie Bunch Facebook group. It's a private group because of plans that we have in the future for that group. But right now, the doors are open, and I encourage you to go over there and share your garden, share your experiences. We try to teach each other in a very friendly environment, and I look forward to seeing you there, friend. We are, of course, coming down to evening, and Mrs. Bowtie's GreenStalks are just beginning to fail wholesale, and we're going to have to try something new with these. Mrs. Bowtie is already looking at some new plants that she wants to put in here and try, but we're going to pull all the soil out and mix in perlite this time. I forgot on my GreenStalk, and we forgot on both of Mrs. Bowtie's GreenStalks. So yes, this is the next day, and I'm out here again, finishing the garden tour, and I wanted to show you, this is the hedges. We talk about these hedges from time to time. Remember the big old Sasqua hedge that came right down here? Well, I just discovered what the problem is. No, here's a Dinnerplate Hibiscus that's needing to get planted, but looking underneath here, now we get these things all the time, okay? You've seen me pull them up if you've watched any of the garden tours, and they actually pull up quite easily. That one did not pull up quite easily, but look at what's growing under here. We have other trees growing in here, and I have got to get under here and start cutting some of these things out. This is very discouraging. I just discovered this here recently. This needs to come out. This needs to come out. There's several things in here that need to come out that are not part of my hedges. A little bit frustrated about that, but we'll get this working. After that, we come around to the fig tree, and yes, it is failing even more. It's amazing how slowly it fails, but you can see these leaves have fig rust. That's what's happening here. This is the natural progression in the season in this area. I presume that's everywhere. I've always thought it did, but I've heard some different stories, but you can see how that thing just fell right off. They're ready to release. This is how the tree gets its signal to drop these leaves and go into dormancy. And it's important for it to go into dormancy because it's going to go through its seasonal rest, and it's going to be coming back fresh again next year. And so I don't really do anything with this. I just pretty much mow up the leaves after they've all fallen. Fig rust, it's all going down. There actually are, in fact, let me go over here. There is, or was, some figs right around here somewhere. See how easy these fall? Oh, yep. Look at that branch has several figs on it, but they will not be developing. I cannot remember what they're called. It's a certain kind of fig, comes in late season, and it's just not going to do it. That's all. It's just not going to do it. Coming down here past the fig tree, and of course we have our thyme down here under this cage. I put it under a cage to protect it from the leaves. It's doing okay. The Amaryllis here, I've got to take care of that. It just doesn't survive, and I'm looking for stuff that does survive. We got, of course, more of our turmeric, and this right here is another one of these Canna Lilies. And I want to take just a second here because this one here is the most amazing one. This, of course, is the very first Canna Lily that bloomed for us, and this is the original right here, and it's getting all dying and everything. This one came up like not very long after and gave us a flower. This one, but again, look. Now one has turned into 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one back in here, 5, 6, 7 stalks. And we just planted these just a couple months ago. So I'm very excited to see that yellow flower that we saw. I just want to make it beautiful. Make the area beautiful and just see more of those flowers. The yarrow down here, of course, look at this. It's still wanting to come back. These things seem to fade this late in the year. They get this all cut, shriveled back, and you can see here, we're talking about the mint. This thing is doing it too. We just pull these things out. It's fine, folks. It's the way it goes. It's the process of the plant's development as it goes through the year. And it may look ugly a little bit on one side, but you know what? This is normal. This is the way it works. And we love them nonetheless. I love the fact that we actually got a flower here for our garden tour. This kind of a late season flower. Happy to see that. A little patch of zinnias over here. And again, we're coming down to flowers that look kind of worn, kind of tired. But look at this. You see this right here? You say, oh, that's terrible. This thing is useless. No, those are your seeds for next year, friend. That right there, this is going to be all the seed I need for next year to get started again. And I'm collecting a ton of these. So yeah, all these dead flowers, you just pop them off like that, stick them in a Ziploc bag. Leave the Ziploc bag open so they dry out. This one here is not quite dry. This one's just dry. Oh, that's actually is a sunflower, so I'm not going to save that. But this zinnia, I'm doing these. I am saving these. We're going to do something a little different with the sunflowers next year. But when I get these, I'll stick them in my pocket somewhere, and it'll eventually make it inside to a bag. Oh, look, here's another one right there. Isn't that just beautiful? And this is kind of the thing, you know, if you're new to growing flowers, and friend, I'm not very experienced with this. I still consider myself new, but all these seeds in here, it's a gift. It's the gift the garden is giving you every single year. Next to that, of course, we have our sunchokes, and I'm continuing to tie these up. I've added a few more strings to this. Looks like I may need to add another one right there pretty soon. Keeping these things tied and in place so that they will grow up here. Now, they do seem to be developing late this year. It's very interesting because in the past I've seen these flower out as early as September, but not this year. We'll come across here to the back pollinator bed first. And I want to show you, of course, there's our peach tree, one of our peach trees that we need to plant. This is the one we're going to plant over there where we were talking earlier. And yes, the bird bath needs cleaning again. Imagine that. It's a month later and the bird bath needs cleaning. And so back here, of course, we've got all our Amaryllis coming up here. They're looking beautiful. These things are one of the first things to sprout in the spring, to bloom in the spring, I should say. And look, see, there's another tree, always pulling out these little trees. And it's a matter of, you know, keeping the enemy I know. These things come out very easy, and so I will eventually get to them. I'm a little lazy about it because I'm busy. I'm a handyman. I'm running a business. We're remodeling our house. We're doing a lot of stuff, and sometimes it just gets in the way. And so that's just the way life is, and we don't stress over it. We don't cause ourselves additional worries. And look what I just pulled up. Doggone it. I just pulled up an Amaryllis. I'm going to go plant that over here in the front pollinator bed because there are none in there yet. Tons of turmeric. There's another Canna Lily back there, and the purple plants are the Thyme plants. And now, oh my goodness. Folks, this right here. Now, if you've seen any of our shorts and videos lately, you know we're starting to get these blooms on these turmeric plants. Look at this. Is that not the coolest thing you've ever seen? I just think that is the neatest bloom. It's a very tough stalk. These things actually, if you cut them off and put them in a vase, they last a surprisingly long time, like weeks. And they're beautiful. They're very sturdy. I don't see the yellow in it very often. So that is just an amazing looking flower. That's turmeric flowers. The leaves, now this one here has just kind of gotten all shredded up from the wind. That's okay. And the Thyme plants are just beautiful as well. I will come over here and show you. See, now over here we have a little cluster of, this is popcorn tree. Those have to come out. That comes out. And what's going to happen here is it didn't come out. I didn't grab it low enough. Ooh, see, I'm not pulling these out fast enough. I need to give you more garden tours, so I do this more often. You got to keep me honest, folks. You got to keep me honest, friend. You got to come with me and watch these garden tours so I make more of them and get more of these weeds pulled up. And you know what? This is kind of interesting because here we have an empty space. Look at there. This is a beautiful little space right here. And I have an idea. Pull a bunch of these little trees out of here. This area gets decent water. It also has good drainage because of the sand. How about that be the new home for our Dinnerplate Hibiscus? That would be so cool to have it kind of tucked back there in the back. A little bit of color when it finally decides to bloom in the late part of the year. With the Thyme plants coming out, the Amaryllis would have come out earlier in the year. It'll come out with these turmeric plants coming. Oh, that'll be so neat. That sounds like a plan. I'm going to go ahead and plant that there here pretty soon. So from the back pollinator, oh, and I got one more thing I need to cover because these are my own personal journals. I like doing this way because I can go back and reference these, and I frequently do. But look at, I cannot get over this lantana, how much it is just blooming over and over. And this is a Chapel Hill Gold lantana. It's making new seeds. I actually have collected some of these seeds and have them indoors. I think I may need to stratify them for a while. And so we will stick those in the fridge so they go through a cold cycle. As I'm going along here, if there's anything that you have experience with that you think might help me in my quest for knowledge or the things growing in my garden, please, oh please comment below on this video and tell me all about it. I have learned so much. I could write a book based on the stuff that I've learned from the comments on these videos, and I so appreciate every one of them. Thank you for those of you who have commented, and I look forward to hearing from you, friend. And so we're in the front pollinator bed, of course. We have our first pineapple in ground. It's looking beautiful, very sturdy. We have more turmeric in here. We have another thing I haven't actually checked in a couple of months, and that's this Chinese ground orchid. Is that what this is? And it's really growing in very strong. It's going to have a good root system by now. And more trees I'm going to be pulling here. But I'm looking forward to this thing finally flowering. It's been in here for a few years. It's supposed to have like a yellow flower. So I'm looking forward to that thing actually making flowers. The other thing that we have in here that I haven't addressed very often is this wandering Jew right here. And it's kind of wandering along under the leaves. And I'm hoping it's not rooting in anymore. So I think I might need to actually pin these nodes. And see, yeah, these nodes right here, this is where more roots should develop, I believe. And I want to get these things to do more for me. So we'll start training these to go in different directions. I kind of want this purple to be in the bed all throughout here. The Egyptian walking onions, of course, and you can see I've cleared a lot of the weeds out, and the Egyptian walking onions are coming back. Last month these were all laying down, but look at these things pointing straight up. Get more of these little trees out of here. We would have a forest in here if we didn't pull these trees when we do. And then of course the brugmansia, the angel trumpets. These things are amazing. We've had so many blooms off of this. Look, I mean, there's 4 right there. There's another 3 right there that are coming, and they kind of just keep shooting out these flower pods and just making this beautiful display out here. I'm loving it. I don't have any yellow ones at the moment, but we're about to have a whole flush of them over here on the sanguinate. That's the solanaceae. It's kind of like solar, sun. Look at that. There's so many under there. So those are yellow, and these, of course, are the red ones, sanguinea. Now, I was out here taking notes yesterday, and this was just beautiful just yesterday, and it's already looking all chewed up. But these are, of course, toxic for humans. They can cause various paranoid reactions if you lick it, stick your tongue in there. That's not a thing you're going to do anyway, right? But yeah, these things are just amazingly beautiful. I love that this tree, which is a year younger, actually 2 years younger than the yellow one, is starting to show off this year. It's beautiful. Quick check-in on the American sycamore tree. These are the sycamore leaves, which are just fantastic for compost. They're huge leaves. They get mowed up and they get shredded into the compost. And our sycamore tree is starting to drop more leaves than usual. It actually drops leaves all year long. So it's kind of the norm for this. But we're about to have fall. We're about to have more leaves than we can possibly need. I'll be putting them in the compost bins, and they'll be great. This Crepe Myrtle here, it's a pink flowered Crepe Myrtle. I'm not sure what the name of it is. It's the one that came with the house, and I'm very happy with it. I keep talking about how these persistent berries, and that's why they call it a persistent tree, these berries, which then split open and have seeds inside them, these things, oh, do you see those fall out? These things stay on the tree, and the birds come and will feed on these all winter long. This is a bird feeder. That's what this is, all winter. So those birds that are still around here, you see they're kind of holding those seeds up in there. I can actually tip this down, and you can see those seeds falling out. But that's okay. I don't know if it's not fertile or what. We do not get extra crepe myrtles popping up everywhere, which is kind of nice. We just have these 2 crepe myrtles, though they are, you can tell by this one over here, they are beginning to lose their leaves as a part of fall. The juniper down here is looking exactly the same. Of course, it's an evergreen. It's not going to lose anything. The really neat thing is the berries on here are still on here, just as thick as they ever were. And these, of course, have a very strong flavor. I ate one on last month's garden tour, and I'm not going to do that again. These berries, technically, are actually pine cones. Let's take a close look in here. You can see they have some shape to them. And you can see here they kind of have a little juiciness to them. That's just how they are and where the flavor is. Now, these can be toxic if eaten too much of, so you'd really have to know what you're doing when you're using these in recipes. Very strong flavor. It does not take much. The Pindo date, and I like showing this tree every month. I like showing all the trees. Well, number one, again, this is my own personal journals, and we do these garden tours in 3 parts. This is the first part. Second part, of course, is the outer beds of the backyard. The third part is going to be the raised beds in the backyard. But these personal journals kind of help me keep a record of what's going on. Now, let's go look up here real carefully at what's up there. So, of course, you can see here real close up, the dates that are actually developing are still up there. I did pull out we did have one of those clusters fall down, and I wanted to show you here, it's actually already dissipating. Yesterday, this was a lot more. You can actually see the dates, and look at all the gnats in here. You can see the dates that are in here, and they're kind of squished because I actually just mowed this yard yesterday. Kind of all squished in here. The gnats will enjoy it. The squirrels will come and enjoy it. And if I come over here past the other blooming turmeric, you can see here, these are what they look like. They have this little red cap on them. It's been sitting there a couple days. No, probably fell yesterday. Oh my goodness. The ripeness is just past perfect, but it's still so strong, so good. The squirrels do a really good job of cleaning those up, but they do fall quite prolifically. You can see here just tons and tons and tons of them have fallen. The squirrel get all they want out of this. Very happy to have that. It gives them something to work on. Lots of turmeric, and of course this over here, this was our 4th bloom that we had. Just so beautiful. I'm just so amazed at what these things look like. These turmeric blooms are certainly one of my favorite things, and of course more amaryllis over here. One patch of canna lilies down there. Hopefully that's going to start taking off. It's looking a little bedraggled. And our strawberry plant that's been cleaned up a little bit. Our asparagus. Now I call this area, this whole area here, is my asparagus patch. Just because that's what I call it. Because there's only one asparagus plant here. In fact, I can back up here and you can see it looks really thick. It looks beautiful. And we just have one. So we need to get some planted. I have some asparagus plants. I have some asparagus seeds somewhere, and I'm going to be planting some more of these eventually. More yarrow. This is a nasty little patch of yarrow right here. I come in here and I clean it up every once in a while, about every other month. Clean out these weeds as I can and try to stay ahead of it. Doesn't always happen, but I'm hoping that next year, and I will be comparing next year, because I'm hoping that next year this thing will finally decide to take off. This is the yarrow I mowed over and thought was dead, and so I just mowed this area most of the rest of last year, and they just popped up this year, and so I'm trying to see if we can bring them back. But some of our other yarrows are not making it. And of course we come around the back side of the north end of our front arch trellis. This is just 2 beds of what will eventually be 5 tiered beds. And the amazing thing is these Thai yard long beans are looking amazing. I say amazing a lot because I just love being out here. It just thrills me to see things like this. Edible beans that we can take, we can bring inside and have dinner. Of course, speaking of dinner, there's one of those loofah. And this thing is actually going a little past being anything edible. I'm going to let this one loofah go to seed. I don't know how much longer this one loofah is going to survive, which we kind of made a miscalculation. I planted the seeds back here, and the American sycamore tree is right above us. And we're on the north side of it, so I thought that the sun would hit down here, but it didn't do it like I was hoping. And so I should have planted this loofah should have been planted way up here on the end of this trellis, because we do get good sun on both sides on the end of this trellis, and I should have put it there. More rosemary. This thing is huge underneath here, just doing just fine, looking beautiful. All kinds of new growth following the trimming that it got for the rosemary that I hung inside to control the moths. We're talking about mint, of course, and this bag just shows us exactly what I was talking about earlier. You see all this brown stuff in here? This is very brittle, and this has to get cleared out, of course, or else the new mint underneath will not grow. There's a lot of it in here, but if you kind of shuffle things around, look right there. Let me get you a little closer here. That's a new mint plant right there. And if I can get this cleared out, these new mint plants will be growing up all over the place in here. Asiatic fern with a sporangia. We learned last month about these sporangia underneath here. These are how this thing reproduces. Very interesting. I want to see it do it, though. I'd like to see volunteer Asiatic ferns somewhere one day. One day, just one day. Another turmeric in here. You know, some of these turmeric aren't going to bloom, and it has to do with their location, when they were planted, and I don't know, tons of other stuff that I'm still trying to figure out. If you know a lot about turmeric, tell me, please. I'd love to hear in the comments below what you might know about turmeric. This has been a fascinating grow for me this year. On the opposite side of the arch trellis, we have all this zinnias in here, and again, there it is, friend. Look, there's a bunch of seed right there that I'm just going to pop this thing off of here. What is that growing in there? I don't know. Oh, it's more seed. But I'll take that little flower, stick it in my pocket. It'll make its way inside into a Ziploc bag that's open for a while until it's dried. Lots of zinnias in here. One thing I like about the zinnia, notice how much weeds are in here. Well, the zinnias are still growing up despite all the weeds. And so next to that, of course, we have more turmeric and zinnias. Now we come over here next to my dino kale, which is my favorite kale. It's the only kale I eat. And it is going to start growing up very tall. I actually put a stake in here because it fell over. You can see that's like an 8-foot pole right there that I plan to use this year to keep this thing growing upright. We had this thing growing all this year, and it had gone through the trellis and was going way, way up there. If I had had a good stake, it probably would have been a lot better. Oh, the zinnias are just amazing. Now, I do want to point out, notice next to this turmeric right here, look underneath here, we have another set of 3 flags, and I keep reminding myself of this because remember, yes, this is my own personal journal, and you are more than welcome to join along. But underneath here is a tuber underneath the ground, and it is a Gloriosa Superba. Is that what it is? There's a name at the bottom of the screen here. It's buried right underneath here, and I've been told by the person, I think I might have already said this, been told by the person who gave it to me, it comes up late in the year. So we're going to be leaving these triple yellow flags in here with the knowledge that something is going to pop up in there and it's going to grow up this trellis. Very excited to see what that looks like. Oh, look there. There's another zinnia just full of seeds. That's another 2 packs of seeds right there. Isn't that, here, let me just open it up. Look at all those seeds just coming out. Isn't that just mind-blowing? I think it's amazing. Free seeds right there from your garden. Of course, we have our compost pile, which is shrinking. It's supposed to. And then next to that is our grape arbor. And this thing is made its grapes. I'm hoping this year we can start making some jelly and some wine. But this thing is looking so full. I don't trim out the front. But if you walk around the back with me here, you can see, oh, there's my tripod ready for our closing scene. But it's like a room in here. I just think this is the neatest thing. The little room. You could put a TV and a couch in here, and it would be comfortable. It'd be a little tight, but maybe just an easy chair. I actually have a video of me sitting in an easy chair or some kind of chair right there. As promised, just past the grape arbor, we have our potato plants, and these things are looking strong. I'm actually very excited. It's supposed to have 2 potatoes per bag, and if you haven't seen where we planted these fall potatoes, there's a link. In fact, I keep showing this little symbol up on the upper right side here. That means there's a link. If you go down into the description of this video, there's a section down in the bottom that's the index stamp, timestamps for this video, and you can find this particular point in time, and there will be a link to that video where we planted our fall potatoes if you want to learn more. Look at these amazing leaves. This is that American sycamore leaf. Just amazing browns. But you can see, though, a lot of these potatoes are coming up. Some of these potatoes have not been wanting to come up. Like this one right here, there's 2 potatoes. Look at that one's growing strong. It's coming out. I've got it up through the little netting. Well, this one just came up finally, and I'm very excited because that one wasn't up last month. These 2 came up very early. There's another 2 bags on the back there that have not, the second one has not come up. The first one, oh, now wait a minute, is that the one? Yes, oh, this one has, and again, this is my log. See, there's a potato growing up right there. I'm expecting another one to grow up from this side over here. We'll have to see if it actually happens. I'm not disappointed in the least because this is going to be a great harvest. I do come in here a little more often than most of my garden and kind of keep an eye on these weeds in here. I don't want to smother these plants a little too much for them to develop. That's a grapevine. I want to keep these weeds pulled so they have more of a chance to develop, more of a chance to develop those tubers below. These are moist. It's just got watered this morning. It is beautiful. Now, grow bags, yes, I use grow bags. I live in Florida. It is humid here. We are blocks from the beach. Grow bags don't dry out for me. We also have automated irrigation over here, and it does very good for us keeping these things planted. Oh, there's another peach tree. Oh, looky there. Something is developing. These are going to be something for next year. The little buds all over. I wonder if that's fruit. I don't know when this thing will start blooming. We need to get this in the ground. This particular peach is going to get planted over on the other side right there. And, of course, all those Biden's alba are going to have to come out. Mrs. Bowtie says she's going to help me eventually. The Thai plant that we were looking at and observing the beautiful flowers. In fact, there's still a few more of these beautiful flowers getting ready to open up. These things are amazing. The pollinators love this, but it is starting to develop little seed pods, and we're going to have to pull all this out before that happens. It's going to be a mess. There is the trunk of an old orange tree underneath here that died back in Christmas of 2022. You can see the other trunk over there. We're going to get that peach planted in here somewhere. And that thing right there that you see the leaves, that is my American sycamore tree. I don't know why I'm growing it. Maybe it's more out of curiosity. Coming around here to the other side past our little peach tree. Good boy. We're going to come over here to this little patch, and yes, I told you, I have pomegranate trees growing down here beautifully. Beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pomegranate trees, and I still have not gotten them out yet. Oh, Lordy, it has been so busy. We had our Dorset Naga eating thing. Go back and watch that. We had all the promotions involved with that, and Jason over at Allotment of the Dead, he and I have been getting ready for stuff next year. Yes, there is going to be a reprisal of our eating contest. If you haven't heard about it yet, be sure to go check out some of our other more recent videos. This beautiful Mexican lantana, look how much bigger it's gotten from last month. In fact, let me just show you here a clip from last month at this same exact location. And look now, it is actually starting to hit the screen over there. We trimmed this back 2 months ago because it was getting so big it was rubbing against the window, which is where I sleep, right there. And it kept me up at night, so I had to come trim it back. I'm going to have to go trim a couple more branches back on this thing. But this is getting big. I am so pleased. I love these flowers. Let me get in so close on these flowers just to show you what they look like. Aren't these just so pretty? I love the yellow and the pinks in there. And look at the little tiny flowers that are coming out. They look like little bow ties. I don't know why I would enjoy that, but I really do. I think it's the coolest little thing. This isn't invasive, but I am looking for flowering things in the garden. Now, interestingly enough, I hear these things are aggressive growers, and I'm waiting for a second one to come because I want to find a place for a second one. I always like backups of things, and so I might try a air layering to get another one of these, or I might just wait until we finally get one growing, but it hadn't grown yet. This thing was actually planted by a bird, I presume, and it was not here. It just suddenly showed up, and I figured out what it was, and I just let it grow. Very happy about it, though. Back here behind, this is kind of interesting because back here behind, we have 2 more turmeric plants that are just so... Oh my goodness, this just happened. Oh my goodness. What on earth? Do you see it? Do you see it? Look, 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 look. There's another bloom down there. I did not know about this one. Oh, that is... Oh, and look, you can see it's actually holding the water, which means this is some kind of a pitcher plant. Pitcher plants are designed to hold water. And of course, I guess the turmeric needs water. This thing hadn't been watered. Well, I guess it was watered this morning. It captured more water and it's storing it up, and it'll eventually consume that water in its growing. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. I've never seen the water actually sitting in them like that before. How cool. Now these have the red flag, so these were planted in January. Look at those blooms. That's just amazing. Keeping an eye on these now that we have another bloom in there. I did not know we had that. The very last thing that we have on this garden tour, yes, we are coming to the end, friend, is our blueberry patch. We have 225 square feet of blueberry plants. They are beautiful, and I have discovered something in here. If you look very carefully, you'll notice down inside here, you see all those darker leaves? Well, that's not blueberries, that's something else growing in there. And that's the kind of thing that you look for as you're scanning your plants. You want to look for leaves that are different than what you're supposed to be seeing. I'm looking at these leaves, and it's obvious these leaves are coming to the end of the season. Again, it's going to drop its leaves. It's natural progression for these plants. But if I look back there and I see, oh, all those dark green leaves back there, that shouldn't be there. And so we're going to pull all of them out. There's also some more leaves over here that are very suspicious. And I just don't like how that looks, because that means trees are growing in here, and I've got to get them out before they start killing off my blueberries. And so that's just a very easy job that we can do, take care of, and be done with. ADHD powers activate. Well, that's much better, but boy, there's some prickers in there. I think it's probably wild blackberries. Didn't go as good as I hoped, but it's there. It's done. It's decreased, diminished. I think the biggest lesson to be learned here is, look at the garden, keep an eye on it, learn what it's trying to tell you, because it is telling you all kinds of stuff. One of my favorite people is Anne of all trades. She's so good at teaching how to read the garden and how to see what's going on in the garden and what it's telling you. Very good information over there. Again, there's that little symbol. Mrs. Bowtie has been making these spicy pomegranate martinis that are so tasty. Oh my goodness, they are so amazing. Got a little bit of jalapeno simple syrup in it. That just makes an amazing drink. Enough to just feel a little bit of spiciness to it. Now, I see you've got that. We talked about these little things. They're coming off anyway. But that marks the end of the garden tour. A lot of things happening still, even in, what is this, October? Now, I know some of you're not doing very much. You may be putting beds to sleep. We don't put beds to sleep here in Destin, Florida. We just let them keep going. And we're going to keep going, and we're going to go on moving right along to the outer garden bed tour. So be sure to subscribe. Comment below if you have any questions, or better yet, if you have any experiences. Tell me about the things that you know about. I know I was asking about some of the other plants in there. I've got the Asian ground orchid. I've got the wandering Jew. I'm doing off of memory, which is faulty at best. I've got wondering about the turmeric. We're learning about a lot of stuff. And if you have any experience, please, oh please, tell me in the comments what your experience has been with the things that you're seeing here, because I learn so much from you and you sharing with me as well. That's just amazing. I do want to mention that we do have a lot of links for Amazon products down in the description below. Those are products that we use and recommend. We don't put anything down there that we haven't ordered and actually used. There's a lot of stuff down there that you can click through to Amazon, and if you use any of those links to start your shopping, we actually get a little bit of the proceeds from anything that you shop at Amazon. And it doesn't change your price, it doesn't change anything for you, but it does help support the Bowtie Gardens. And friend, so many of you have been so supportive for everything going on in here. By now, by the time this video comes out, we will have been monetized. Celebration. We had that. We will. For me right now, that celebration is coming up Saturday of this week. This is Sunday, the 12th of October. But these videos take a long time to get produced and edited, so they come out of order sometimes. But be sure and go back and watch our Dorset Naga pepper eating challenge with Jason from over at the Allotment of the Dead. We had so much fun, and be sure to turn on the chat replay to see everything that happened in there. It was just fun. We had a blast. All of us were just rolling laughing. Yes, even me eating a Dorset Naga at 1.3 million Scoville. I loved it. Thanks for following along, friend. Have a blessed day.